All right, everybody, we're back in for another episode of the 50/50 podcast. 2 episodes back to back. Who would have guessed it? You know, this is a pretty rare occurrence. Almost as rare as Jada being faithful to her husband. Am I right?
Oh my God.
That was pretty good, huh? I thought that was solid.
No.
No, we already talked about a little bit about the Will Smith thing, but, just to dive in, how do you feel about Jada Smith sleeping with her son's friend that just happened to come over? Like, imagine if, I don't even want to imagine on you, Par, but like, you just got a girl, you have a kid, the kid's friend comes over one day to have fun or play some Xbox, and then boom, all of a sudden
have fun.
Yeah, all of a sudden,
Understatement.
your wife and this random stranger just start going at it, and you have to just listen to it. Will Smith is wild. I don't know how he does it. That guy is
Wait, this is like a new I thought that was an old thing.
That's an old thing, but
okay, it's an old thing.
Yeah, it's an old thing, but I just love bringing that up because it's so wild to me. And the worst part is that, if that's their thing, fine, we'll give it a pass. But Will doesn't like it, man. The guy starts crying about it. And I kind of feel bad for him, but he kind of puts himself in that situation. I divorce. It'd be done.
I think like
Game
the worst part about it, worst part by that I mean is like some of these things it's like I don't really care. Obviously this is like one of those things where it's like in the grand scheme of things, who are these people? Obviously Will Smith is a big deal. Jada Pinkett Smith, I mean, sure, whatever, fine. I think she was good in Gotham. I like the role. I don't even remember what character she was. I know her from that, like from
she was
Gotham.
In Gotham?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was in
season?
Gotham.
I watched 4 out of the 5 seasons. I didn't watch the last one because it got kind of crazy.
It was I same. I stopped at like the 3rd or 4th. She was like the Penguins, like the Penguin dude. Penguin
was so good in Gotham. Holy
crap.
Yeah,
he was.
I was a big fan of Penguin.
Me too.
He had that that nasal what are you doing, Batman? Or not Batman. It was Detective Gordon. Gordon.
He was
he was great.
He had his moments too. I liked it.
Yeah, he was likable.
Pretty sure Jada was like his boss. Like she had like the brothel or whatever.
Maybe. Was she like who was she? Was she Talia? No, she wasn't Talia.
I don't know.
I don't remember. Gotham, that's a fever dream of a show.
It kept on going, and every time I heard something like it's still going, I was like, man, I love that show. Like, I love is a strong, but also I feel it's like misplaced, but it's also like not, because like I don't even remember it being like that good, but I remember feeling good about it.
It was a time waster.
Yeah, it was good. Like it sucked you in. It was somewhere in between like it wasn't okay, you know what it is? Okay, I can explain it like this. It wasn't something I would recommend to my friends, if that makes sense. I would watch it.
What's a show that you would recommend to a friend then? Like if I said, "Hey, Par, I need a show," what would you give me?
I mean, like, okay, I'm a little bit different because I have to ask you like what kind of shows you watch and stuff like that. But
you're one of those guys. No, just give me a show. Give me a show, Par. I want to hear a recommendation.
If you're asking like what I would tell people to watch, it would be BBC Sherlock. That's my all-time, and Elementary. Those two got me. Insane shows. At least for like Real People TV. I don't watch too much Real People TV.
I will admit I am a big fan of Sherlock, so you got me. Hook, line, and sinker. Good job, Par.
Have you watched both?
I've watched BBC Sherlock, but that's it.
The Elementary's crazy. Elementary's crazy.
I haven't watched Elementary. I've heard things about it, but I don't know. Like it's not the same Sherlock, right?
No, they have a different spin on it. And that was like a thing that people were cautious about. But when I ended up watching it, I really liked their version of these characters. The main thing that people were like obviously upset about is like Watson is a girl. But I really think that they did
emails. I can't do it.
They did Watson's character really, really well. And then like I mean, obviously the weird part is always like male female dynamic. They're like the romance stuff is an interesting thing, which again I think that they did, obviously, like no spoilers, but they handled that so well to the point where I'm like, yo, honestly, like, I mean, this is low-key contextual spoilers, but like,
no,
low-key, everybody, anytime that it's like on TV, it's Watson is a guy and Sherlock is a guy, they're more romantic that way. Like, it's more romantic as two dudes, and that's how I'd say that Elementary handled it.
Say that again? It's more romantic if they're two dudes?
Yeah, like Sherlock and Watson's relationship is like such a, it's like a it's a bromance. I mean, the BBC Sherlock played really heavily into that, to the point where it's like, I mean, this is like a decade old spoiler, so it's not that big of a deal, but it's not that crazy. Even with the spoiler, it's not a spoiler because it's like, whoa, that's crazy. But like, they played really heavily into that when it came to the wedding. So like, it was like, how does this dynamic of Sherlock and Watson get broken up by a female, like an external person, like a partner, a relationship, blah, blah, blah. And I say that because in Elementary, that's like, they like somehow made it so platonic that like it felt more normal than like two dudes. But like, obviously the two dudes is fine because like that's just how dudes are, right? But like, I don't know, they did it so well. I really liked Elementary, and it was a show that that for me felt like it got better as the seasons went on, because as the seasons went on, they were able to build upon more of the story. Like, the way they played it out was like, yeah, some episodes are just like, this is a one shot of like, this is a case, a thing, whatever. Maybe one part of it is related to a larger story. But once they built up like this, like, encyclopedia of characters and story, they really, I think they executed really well. The plot twists are really well done. Oh man, it was great. I think my wife ended up just watching like near the end with me, not even watching the beginning, and she loved it. So I really enjoyed Elementary. So Elementary was surprising. Yeah,
you'd recommend it.
Yeah, it was really good in my opinion. Especially the way they handled current events. Yeah. Elementary. That's the one. I like the actor, too. The actor's really cool, too. Yeah. I don't know much about him. That's my thing about, like, real people TV. People are always like, oh, my God, like, Chris Hemsworth and whatever. I'm like, who? And then they're like,
who's
you don't know
Chris Hemsworth?
I mean, that's a bad example, but then they'll say, like, Thor, and I'm like, oh, okay, gotcha. Or they have to say the character, like what he played in that movie, and then I'm like, oh, I got you. I don't know actors and actresses' names. I'm so bad about that.
No, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's understandable.
Yeah, it's a rough one.
That's why Jada. You pick Chris Hemsworth, Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. Who's that?
Yeah, I always say Tony Stark before Robert Downey Jr.
Wait, here's a good one. Who do you like more, Jim Carrey or Adam Sandler? Who do you think's better?
That's a tough one. I think Jim Carrey's better. I like Adam Sandler though.
You like Adam Sandler more than Jim Carrey?
Yeah, but I think Jim Carrey, all of his, I mean, Adam Sandler knows. Adam Sandler, Adam Sandler knows that, like, he literally, like. I don't even know how to explain it. We talked about this, but like, anytime anybody brings up Adam Sandler and his life, it's just it continues to get more crazy. But like, my man has like an entire studio funding his life and his aspirations, but not just him. He just has all of his homies as like actors, and I don't even know if they're actors. Like they don't. I don't even think they care to be that. But he just has
friends that just rake in money with him. It's kind of cool, but like his movies are good too.
No, they're not. One out of 40.
What?
Because he makes so many movies. because
All
I don't
of
know
his
how he
movies
gets
are
them.
goated.
He's
No
Nicolas
way.
Cage. No, he's Nicolas
The only
Cage.
movie that I don't like out of Adam
He's Nicolas
Sandler
Cage.
is Jack and Jill. That's the only one I dislike.
I don't even know that. See, you said that movie, right?
Have you watched Murder Mystery?
And you said that movie, and like I could hit you with like, oh, Rewind. Oh,
Click.
I mean, the only movies I know is like the 51st Dates and Mr. Deeds and like everything after that era.
Boy.
Yeah, anything after like that day of what the Gilmore Studios his thing.
Oh my god.
That's he
okay,
knows.
That's changing topics. Okay, so since Par is such an Adam Sandler hater for some reason,
I love Adam Sandler. I literally
Par
just
likes
said
Childish Gambino, but he doesn't like Adam Sandler. This dude does not know. Par does not know anything about talent. I see.
Here the thing is
Creativity out the window. The fact that he said Adam Sandler is not creative. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it.
I just remembered like a core thing. I haven't seen this cousin in so long. He looks like Adam Sandler, like him and his dad. Like they're. I remember when we were kids, I was like, I thought that they're just like related to Adam Sandler. Like they don't even.
He looks like a god. A Greek Adonis.
I'm pretty sure he looks more like Adam Sandler now than Adam Sandler looks like Adam Sandler.
Park, did you know that Adam Sandler, his movies are more popular in the East than they are here in the West?
Yeah, because the East is fucking crazy. I don't know what the hell.
They love Adam Sandler over there. Japan, China, India, Russia. Man, Adam Sandler's a king.
Yeah.
Everywhere but here in America.
No, he is. The thing is, in America, he's well respected. It's just like, okay. Megalodon outsold Barbie and Oppenheimer in China, the same box office. Like
because they know real movies. I didn't watch Barbie. I didn't watch Oppenheimer. I watched Meg too.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Wait, was it good? Should I watch it?
My wife's a big shark fan, so she watches all the shark movies.
What do you mean she's a shark? No.
We go on Netflix and Hulu, and you know how like they have those really bad like C-rated movies that Hulu produced, where they have like sharks killing a bunch of high school. Yeah, she's a big fan of those.
No way.
Yeah, I remember one of our first dates. We watched
You're making this up.
It's called like 42 meters deep.
Yeah. And I mean, that's less of a shark movie and more about like two dumb white girl movie, you know?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, well, that's like most of them, right? I think we're going to watch a movie pretty soon called The Black Devil, which is about like this shark that's in an oil spill and he's like super big and he's like about to attack this family on a rig. Like, no, shark movies are the shit, bro. Like, I kind of like them. I think they're funny.
No, yeah, that's a guilty pleasure. I remember when I was a little bit, like, I think it was in high school. I remember just like, I needed to like stop. It was like the era of Sharknado, and I was like, these movies got me. Like, I know that they're bad, but there's something about this is good. Now you're pulling. Viewers, listeners, I'm too tired to figure this out. I think he's making this shit up. There's no way your wife likes these movies.
No, she likes them. It's a guilty pleasure. It's just like how I like horror movies. She likes shark movies. So speaking of horror, though, like,
but the horror movie thing is more normal. A lot of people like that. Like,
well, yeah, but I mean, you got to remember, like, brother, you just said it yourself. Meg 2 outsold Barbie and Oppenheimer.
You're right.
They're in the majority over there. Like, this is a majority opinion.
Yeah, but like,
what are you gonna say? China, India, like the Middle East. Like, are you gonna say they don't matter? Say it part. If you want, you say it. Not me. You know, like if you want to say that all those people don't matter, what 90% of the world doesn't matter? Go. You do you. Say it. Say it.
I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth.
Plead the fifth. All right. Interesting.
You know, it's I'm just reminded this all the time. I always feel bad for this guy. The creator of Jaws, the guy who set the ball rolling with shark movies. He like is regretful of ever creating Jaws and apologizes for it. And I get why, but like I'm also like at the same time I'm like I feel like they would have gotten this reputation anyways. Like it's not like I don't think you did it. You know what I mean? Like, not that you did it, you didn't do it, because Jaws, great movie at the time, crazy good, whatever. I say at the time very, very generously, because you go back and watch those movies, god damn, those things are worse than a PowerPoint presentation. I look back at those and I'm like, I'm pretty sure PowerPoint was more advanced than the movie at that like time. I don't even know, maybe PowerPoint didn't exist because Jaws is like an 80s movie. Never mind. I'm talking about like Jaws like 7 or something like that, where at that time they had like normal people had access to like CGI if they really wanted to, and they
didn't use it.
Yeah, they did not. Like it was the one scene I'm reminded of is like they're in an underwater facility because they're that advanced, and then they just have like a still of the giant shark just charging the screen, and it doesn't move, it just continues to go straight until it cracks the window. And it's like, I remember that being scary at one point.
I never thought sharks were scary, man. Par, how toxic are you as a man?
What's the metric? Like, if someone ate me, would they die?
No. When I say that, I mean, how many wild animals do you think you could take in a fight?
I mean, plenty, but not like
in the
shark
water.
Is not one of them.
Versus a shark.
No, shark.
You don't think you could take a shark?
I mean, depends what shark. It depends where.
Okay.
It depends how.
Let's say it's a bloodlusted shark. His family just died. He's hungry.
Oh, it's
You're
over.
the only thing he's seen in a year. But here's the thing: you have a knife. Could you take the shark?
It's over. The thing is,
would you try?
I've seen I would try, but the thing is, that's the difference, right? In order to try, you have to know. In order to try, you have to be aware. That's the problem in the water. People underestimate that awareness aspect of like fighting back against anything. Is like the only time people have been able to reasonably fight off a shark is when they saw the shark coming. But that's the thing. The shark doesn't have to let you know it's coming. And if it doesn't let you know, it can choose to do that. And it's over. It's done. Like if it chose to.
You are in a Roman Colosseum with a shark.
Uh-huh. Like One Piece?
Yeah. Just like a Roman Colosseum. You and the shark, you both enter from your respective rings. Let's say the shark is not limited to water. He can actually just swim through air, so you can breathe the entire time. You're not like in water or anything. You're not drowning. And that shark can just levitate. Do you think you could take a shark?
The shark could just levitate?
Yeah. He moves at the same speed as he would in water.
The fuck you mean? That's 40 miles per hour or whatever.
You don't think you could take him?
Let me... see, the thing is, they're moving like 40 miles per hour in water.
The boys are crying in the comment section.
If the shark is moving 40 miles per hour in water, that means in air, it's going like double. Like, I don't know about you, but I don't swim as fast as I run.
Same speed as in water.
Okay, see, like
twister, huh?
I'm stuck on the part where they like fish would just look funny out of water. Like if you just
okay, but here's the thing. Okay, forget the shark. Bear. Could you beat a bear?
Like a koala bear?
No, like an actual bear, grizzly bear.
Well, that's rude to the koala. Aren't they part bear or something?
Yeah, we can beat their ass. Put a grizzly bear in the ring. Could you beat it? Knife.
No.
Serrated knife.
I mean, what's a serrated knife to like 10 serrated knives on them, plus their teeth, plus their feet? Like,
man, Par, I'm starting to not believe you when you said in the last episode that you every day think of the Roman Colosseum. I don't believe it anymore. I mean, where's the fighter's spirit, Par?
Hey, whoa, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say even those fighters, the reason why they're fighters is because they are aware that they can't win.
But they fight regardless, Par.
Yeah, I never said I wouldn't fight.
Okay. You know, you're catching me at what is it, 5-10 a.m.? I'm drinking a little bit. You know what? I'm gonna lay down the gauntlet. Do you think you could take a giraffe?
No, giraffes win everything. What? Giraffes beat lions. Giraffe beats bear. Giraffe beats.
It's hard to defend you, Par. This is rough.
What do you mean? Giraffes win. It's easy. Giraffe beats mountain lion too.
No, you versus you.
The mountain lions only win. They usually win because of the same thing I said about sharks. The problem with mountain lions is isn't the saying like if you see the mountain lion, they've been watching you for a while, or they let you see.
You both enter it at the same time. You lock eyes from minute 1.
Mountain lion's different because I've seen the videos where like like the headlines come out like man attacked by mountain lion, and then you see the mountain lion, and I'm like I could beat that. I'm pretty sure I could beat that.
Okay, yo, this is the part when I hear. Okay. Here's a good one. Okay, I'm excited now. You're getting the ball rolling. Okay, how many pit bulls can you take down all at one time? Bloodlusted. They haven't ate in 10 days. You're the first piece of meat they've seen. And all the pit bulls that are in this arena with you are family. They will never attack each other. So they're not going to start eating each other or cannibalize or anything. You versus how many pit bulls? How many do you think you could take?
No, we're not doing this. How many do you think?
Honestly, 10.
10? Pit bulls? Like fully grown pit bulls?
I've been around a lot of pit bulls, man. I've been around a lot of bad pit bulls. Not even good, not the good ones. Like don't worry about Sally. She's beautiful. Not those. I've been around some pit bulls.
Wait, are you saying 10 at the same time, or is it like 1v1s? 10?
Same time.
All of them are angry at you and hungry?
All.
I don't know about 10. See, 10 is crazy. If you said 1v1s,
what's your number?
1v1s, I feel like it's just a stamina thing.
But what
you know
about
what I mean?
all of them? Like, how many could you take realistically at the same time?
I feel like 10's too many. I feel like 10. See, that's the thing. It's like if it was like 100 third graders, easy, right?
Yeah.
But at a certain point, right? It's like the quantity is just insane because like what a third grader weighs like 80 pounds or something like that.
How many could you
That's
take?
80
though?
times 100.
You're putting too much thought behind this part. Like
that's 8,000 pounds.
When the gladiators hopped in the arena, they just fought, brother.
Yeah, but
it's either fight today or die of meningitis tomorrow.
Wait, do I have weapons against the pit bulls? Because then it's different. Knife. How long is this knife?
It is 5 inches, so it's past regulation.
Thanks for giving
it's tri-tip,
barely regular.
It's also illegal as well. It's not allowed in the United States.
If we're allowed to have why is it barely non-regular? Why isn't it just like
Well, I mean, anything past 7 inches is not a knife anymore.
Like that's like
I'm giving you 5.
That's like me smuggling a 5.1 inch knife when it's like you could have just made the knife 4.9 and it would have been fine. Why did I have to smuggle in a 0.2 inch longer? You could have just made it shorter. That's your fault. You don't need someone to smuggle that shit. You know what I mean? Like that. Sometimes that's just
how. Okay, but you're avoiding the question. You're dodging. You're like Hassan.
If it's with a knife,
what's the?
Why did Hassan
like that?
catch a stray?
You like that? No, I love Hassan. Man, I watch Hassan sometimes. Love is a strong word.
Yeah, I don't think you should love anybody on the internet.
Yeah,
like that,
no,
but,
not a big fan of Hassan. He's there,
the deterioration of what just happened just now is kind of wild.
I think of it sometimes because when I see you, I think of Hassan, because like your most famous moment is when Hassan noticed your comment on live stream.
Why is that? That's my most famous moment?
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because we have the 50-50 podcast, we have One Piece, but like at that one point in time, you broke through the meta.
Yeah.
That is One Piece, so.
Yeah. It's funny because that post that I made that broke through the meta was relevant. He actually cited that. Well, technically, he sort of cited most of that video for the recent conflict.
Exactly.
Regarding
so that is a popular moment for you, but you're avoiding the real question though. How many Pitbulls could you take at one time with a serrated 5-inch knife with a tri-tip? Which I'm wording that wrong. I'm talking when I say tri-tip, I mean the like. Have you seen the blades that wrap? That's what I'm talking about.
Like a sitar, like not a sitar. What are they called? Not a, that's a.
It's been a while since I like looked up the actual word, but there's like a knife.
A scimitar.
No. So there's one point, but the blade is curved all around the knife, and it meets at the tip. And the reason why that's banned is because if you were to stab somebody
and pull it out,
that's something you wouldn't be able to stitch. Yeah.
Yeah, fucks it up. If you gave me a weapon, I think Pitbulls are doable then, because I think
how
weapon.
Many Pitbulls?
That's what I'm saying. Like, okay, how heavy's a Pitbull?
A Pitbull, like I think 30-50 pounds. They're around there.
10? That 300 pounds of Pitbull? Wait, 30 pounds? I feel like that's light. I feel like we had a pit. I guess a pit mix is a little bit different, but it's like that. He was heavy. He was strong. Close.
So the average American pit bull is around 35 to 60 pounds. So I said 30 to 50, so I was like 10 off.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I feel like the ones I've seen is like 40, 50 range. They look kind of chonky. And the thing is chonky, that bro. Like we had a baby. It was like basically a baby, a few months old. My man, he went through a dog park. He was bench pressing all the other dogs. He straight up just like lifted another, like it was like a pedigree, yeah, like a Shibu Inu, like beautiful. And I was like terrified because this dog
so
was
cute you'd fuck it.
That's a Pokemon conversation, but
wait, what does that mean?
I've been more cognizant.
Do they do that in Pokemon?
No, I just been more cognizant of the fetishization of Pokemon in the mainstream. It's not even weebs. Like it was like, I feel like there's a weird Venn diagram of people who like Pokemon and people who didn't, but then people who would fuck Pokemon. And I came across that recently, and I'm like, that's so weird. Like I didn't think that. I feel like there's so many like, I don't know.
It's weird because like I'm not gonna lie, I looked up top fuckable Pokemon at one point just to see what people were simping over, and out of all the Pokemon on that list, I didn't see it, man. Like none of the. What was the Pokemon? I think number one was like that grass Pokemon with the skirt.
Chikorita? No, Rosalina?
No, not that either. But either way, regardless of what the Pokemon was, none of the Pokemon in Pokemon are really fuckable, in my opinion. Like none of them are that cute. Like they're cute in a sense of, oh wow, I want to own one. Like I would love to have this Pokemon, but none of them are like, wow, let's do the deed, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's this. This isn't even like mainstream one, but like, I gotta word this carefulry.
No, shoot it straight. Come on.
Because it's not even because of what I would say. It's more so like, there's a female content creator,
and that you'd already disregard the Middle East and the East in general in terms of their opinions. So what's next, Par?
This is so cheese. There's a female content creator. She's blowing up on, or she blew up already on TikTok. She has like, I think she has like 1 million, whatever, right? But she has a meme. She has a meme on her thing, and I 100%. It was one of those ones where I was like I didn't think of it immediately, but like I think my brain did, and so when I saw the comments, I'm like, oh shit, you're right. And she basically she does I like this kind of content. She does like trivia where she just like walks up to random people and she's like, for $5, if you get this question right, or if you get this question right, I'll give you $5, whatever, right? And then it's like, then if they get it right, it's like, take it or leave it, and I'll double it, and then the questions get progressively harder, right? And she was what hooked me, believe it or not, if for the people who know what I'm talking, who know who I'm talking about. I really liked her questions for some of her videos. I'm like, these are great trivia questions. I as far as like, going on the street and asking people questions, like these are actually like well thought out. Like you obviously get the parlor trick of like, hell, let me rope them in for content, like let's make the first 4 really easy, get them feeling good, and then hit them with the like a crazy one with the what's the middle bone in your pinky toe called, and it's like,
what the hell?
Yeah, it's like some, like the first one will be like, what's the color of my iPhone, or this thing, what are the 2 colors on my drink, and it's like yellow, red, and it's like, yeah, you did it, here's $5. Oh, how many fingers do you have on one hand? And they're like, 5. Yeah, you're so smart, you did it, here's $10. And it's like, you risk it? It's like, yeah, I'm feeling good. And it's like, what town are we in? And it's like, Florida. Sorry, buddy, Florida's not a town. And it's like, that's literally like a question thing. And then, but the people who get to the end and then she asks like a good question, I'm like, I like this, right? But you hit their comment section. Comment section is Mewtwo. Mewtwo, is that you? Because Mewtwo has this particular body form. I think
Mewtwo a guy?
Yes. But that does not absolve the very likely inspiration of, or what the Japanese creators were thinking when it came to Mewtwo, this non-binary creature that does things. It has this particular form.
Like how you call them non-binary.
I didn't know what else to say. I feel like there was a different
non-binary creature.
There was a different. Wait, what was it?
Is Mewtwo really non-binary? Is that
I don't know. I think so. I don't know. I feel like there was a term beforehand, like when Mewtwo first came out, there was a word, and then I think non-binary is now what you would refer to Mewtwo as, but like whatever.
Yeah, I guess Mewtwo is actually genderless.
Yeah. See, but there was another word.
With those hips, bro. Like, the voice. No.
Yeah, well, the voice is in your head. They just chose a voice. They chose whatever you wanted to hear. That was essentially what Mewtwo did.
And you told me Ash thought of a guy?
I mean,
hey, if Ash goes that way, I'm not gonna judge. But dang, yeah, he could have had like Misty whispering in his ear the whole time.
Yeah, I
never kept up with the Mewtwo lore.
But
I feel like I'm learning something right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Mewtwo's whole shtick was like, whatever you heard was what you wanted to hear as well. Mewtwo essentially used its psychic powers to be as promiscuous as possible, like to convince.
That's crazy.
and however you heard that, that's on you. That's on you. The directors chose a guy's voice. That's on you. But that being said, Mewtwo's body shape, I'm not gonna, I'll be honest. The girl wears these really tight yoga pants, and her body form, stands.
I wouldn't do Mewtwo.
No, I'm not saying I would either. But the reason why I was like, I'm not upset at it because it's like accurate, but I'm also like, damn, that's crazy. Like Pokemon is that mainstream that like random people are like, Mewtwo build? That's crazy. And then you look at it, and then you Google Mewtwo, and then she has a Mewtwo build. And she knows it because she stands like on the side on all of her videos so you can see the Mewtwo build. She does it on purpose, obviously.
You've been paying attention.
Yeah, I mean, I like the videos. I like trivia. I'm on trivia. Anything trivia. Trivia is my favorite thing. That was one version. But the thing is, those lists that you talked about, like where it's like, I think low punny, that's like the bunny thing, which is, I don't even know what gen Pokemon that is. That's past my era. That's always there, but Mewtwo isn't. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. That's crazy because I feel like Mewtwo was like the OG humanoid. It was like one of the first humanoid Pokemon. I feel like that at least made sense. I guess kind of.
Yeah, I thought Mewtwo looked pretty good until I heard the voice and I was like, yeah, nah.
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind, it's whatever voice you want. It's your deep desires being...
Yeah, the deep desires, what you hear from Mewtwo.
Yeah. Take that with what...
Oh, no, it's a thick girl. Wait, is Mewtwo's voice supposed to be scary?
It's supposed to be dominating, right? Like, because Mewtwo was raised, I guess, under Giovanni, the leader of Team Rocket, right? So I think like the mannerisms are taken there, but then I think I might be getting a lot of this wrong. I remember a lot of the OG stuff, I feel like, but it's been a while. But I'm pretty sure it was like the leader of Team Rocket fucked him up, created this whole persona, and then when they met their original blueprints, which is Mew, they became more free. They got liberated in ways. They're like, man, I don't have to be this way. And then Mew's like, no. But Mew doesn't say anything. Mew just says Mew, which I like. I like that. We don't need Pokemon talking. Anytime a Pokemon talks, anytime I find out a new Pokemon talk, I'm like, get that shit out of here. That it was already old in 2000, the year 2000, when the Mewtwo came out. Man,
I don't know. I prefer I prefer if they talk.
Really? I like it when they just say their own thing.
I mean, some Pokemon, yeah, but like, it's not that often that a Pokemon talks. So I'm kind of okay with it, right? Like, hey,
no, every Pokemon talks now.
Every Pokemon.
Literally I'm pretty sure like literally every legendary Pokemon
but
now
legendary
talks.
Are different though.
No. But the thing is, now nearly everything is a legendary.
That's true.
Like there was like
power creeped.
Yeah, there was like I feel like the last like 4 gens I heard about, there was like 9 or plus. There were double-digit legendaries from or not even like legendary and like rare got conflated. But like, let me tell you, a motorcycle dragon legendary Pokemon. I mean, that one I don't know if talked or whatever, but like, we're getting to some weird territory with Pokemon. This is a weird territory.
It's a weird time.
Yeah, very odd decisions being made. It feels a little bit like Dragon Ball, just a little bit.
Pokemon like Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
How many Pokemon do you think you could take in a battle?
I like that you asked that. The reason why is because I feel like that's one part of the world that made no sense to me. The Pokemon easily destroy humans in their
and
verse.
There's no guns in the Pokemon universe, right?
No, there are guns.
There are? Like actual guns?
Yeah, but the Pokemon have attacks that are like nuclear weapons compared to the guns. Like,
yeah,
like
true.
Like some of the
if Pikachu tries to electrocute me, like I could just snipe him from a distance, right?
Yeah, but then they also just have like armor. Like they just survive shit.
Some Pokemon, but not Pikachu. That dude's all flesh.
Yeah, but like Pikachu's by far the most durable Pokemon in the entire series.
That's because he's part of the main cast. That's like plot armor.
What armor? I mean, not what armor. What plot? Armor? I'm telling you, the armor is insane. These creatures, even if you took out
if
Pikachu,
I shoot
it's like
Geodude, right? I don't think he would die.
Geodude. Yeah, Geodude's just a rock with arms.
Exactly.
I'm not beating a rock. You give a rock arms, I'm losing. I already lost to the rock. You didn't need to give it arms.
Hydraulic press though.
Yeah, but it's not a small rock either. Also, this rock levitates. Like it just randomly has telekinesis. Like it can just.
Do you think you could trick him?
Trick him how? It is a rock.
Press.
Probably, I would imagine. I would like to think I see that's the trade-off, right? Like I may not be stronger than a box of rocks, but I like to think I am smarter than a box of rocks. Like that's a fair assessment of the situation, right? Like that's balancing. But my point still stands. I feel like the one thing is that even at the onset of the Pokemon verse, they never explained like how Pokemon got into this like subservient point where it's like every plot line they've made is that humans destroy Pokemon's world. And it's like, there's a singular Pokemon in all of these stories that solo the entire verse. How did they lose? Like, there's never an explanation. It's like Ash ends up beating them, but it's like, okay, but like, what about not Ash? Like, what if there wasn't an Ash? Like, that one Pokemon wins, but then, hey, surprise, it's not one Pokemon. There's millions, and I don't know. It's like I get why a squirrel, I get why a fox, I get why a deer, I get why they get displaced by humans. But if the deer can shoot flames, how are we beating that? We don't. Like,
yeah, I agree. Like, if Pokemon actually existed, they'd take over
easily. Like, it just makes no sense. And the thing is, like, our animals wish they could. If they could, they would.
But that's the one thing, though. Like, Pokemon don't want to take over the world, or at least most of them don't. So they're like docile. They just get bullied by humans. That's just how it is.
And that's the part where I'm like, huh? What happened?
But here's the thing. What's the strongest Pokemon you could take down?
What happened?
What's the strongest Pokemon you could take down then?
Man, their insect Pokemon are cracked. Their insect Pokemon are probably the most absurd ones, if you really think about it, because they're the most common. But at the end of the day, it's like okay, we talked about this. You didn't like watch a lot of Pokemon, but like you've seen things here and there. Like at the same time, it's like apparently you turn 10, and that's apparently in their world grounds for now I can leave my the safety of my home and become a Pokemon trainer and travel the world alone as a 10-year-old in the wilderness with these wild creatures. And so I guess like a 10-year-old beats these Pokemon, but at the same time it's like in our world a bee kind of beats you in the wilderness. Like there's not that many people who fight bees, you know what I mean? But if you make these bees the size of people like they are in the Pokemon world, we're losing. You know what I mean?
I want to fight them.
You would fight them or you wouldn't fight them?
I would try to fight them.
Yeah, that's the thing. I wouldn't.
Because
like the bees.
Here's the thing, like bees nowadays, like they're so small, you can't really hit them. Like they can dodge your attacks pretty easily. But if they're the same size as you, it would be an even fight.
Okay, but they're just as fast as bees. Their hands are giant drills, and that pierce you. And they're called bee drills. They fly. They fly. You can't fly. In none of these worlds you can fly.
But bee drill has to come down to the ground to hit me.
Yeah, but the thing is, you can't go up or evade. We've talked about this too.
I can evade, but I just can't go up.
But we've talked about this too.
I'm not gonna stand still.
There's a whole like in terms of competency, there's a whole like metric of the z-axis, like the third axis. Like us not being able to fly is a huge detriment to our survivability, to the point where what was it, we thought about like random what like animal body part we'd want, and I think like flying was like number one, even in the comment section, of like being able to like fly, wings, because that's how useful that is.
But here's the thing. Like, I think we could beat a bee drill. The average human should be able to beat a bee drill.
Should be is the important part, right? Like,
we would beat a bee drill.
Ash got beat by birds.
Ash is lame. No, what? You can't scale him to the average human.
I mean, yeah, you can and you can't, but like, I get what you mean.
All right, I need to hear it down below. Guys, can you beat a bee drill? Yes or no? I think it's entirely possible, or totally possible. Like, we can't lose to these bees. And
with
you know
weapons?
Serrated knife. 5 inches,
You know,
so
that's
it's just above
that's probably
the
the most. That's probably the most egregious part of all of this, is that somehow all these Pokemon trainers, they don't have weapons and they still tame these creatures.
I carry a gun. Like, if I brought up Pikachu and he didn't listen to what I have to say, I guess we just have to put him down.
And that's the funny part. They have, like, you asked that question at the start of it. Like, do they have guns? And I had to think about it, but they do. And that's the Pokemon hunters. They, like, some of the crazy ones just straight up kill them.
Hey, population.
And they're
control.
like, it's like frowned upon. But like, oh, you know,
like imagine if you let legendary Pokemons just spread their seed too often. Like, that's a crisis.
Or a good thing, right?
No, we gotta take them down.
When Pokemon started creating like occupations, that's when it got a little crazy, because it's like Pokemon trainers lost so much meaning when they introduced Pokemon Rangers and Pokemon Tamers. Do you know about them?
No, I didn't really pay too much attention to Pokemon.
So like Pokemon trainers, right? Like the whole point of it is you capture them. You capture these Pokemon and then you train them. At that point, you might as well call them Pokemon Tamers. Like, they're like the circus act, right? Versus Pokemon Tamers, and I could be getting this a little bit wrong, they carry what I remember to be a rope, and they lasso and they like swing around the Pokemon. And like once you like get a few swings in, like it has to encircle them a few times, that puts them into a trance, and now you've now tamed that Pokemon, and for a set amount of time that Pokemon will now listen to you. As like opposed to the training one, which is long-term commitment, depending on how you are as a trainer. You'd be a dictator, or you could be like Ash, who lets the Pokemon beat on you and meme on you, and then you show them through like grit that you're him, right? You turn the hat backwards and you're like, you're not gonna disrespect me anymore, little boy, and then you do that stuff. But Pokemon Tamers, that was a whole different thing, and so they are like the most what's it called, decorated, I think, in the story, because they're like the Pokemon Rangers. So basically Pokemon Rangers, think like Green Beret, but like and they're like a randomly government affiliated, like they like the police don't stop them, like they, all the professors know them, everybody's supposed to give them a pass. And then they just tame Pokemons temporarily. They don't have like a Pokemon. They just go around, and I think they can tame other people's Pokemon too. Like if you trained your Pokemon for like 20 years and then they use their like taming thing on, you just lost your Pokemon for the day, because they're that good. And I'm like, yo, it was such a random thing.
I just used the gun on them instead.
Yeah. Like, they're the reason why you need this shit, because it's like, where did they come from? How does this fit into the world? And that's why I said, like, that's why I was saying like Pokemon went the way of Dragon Ball, where it's like like, man, just cut this shit loose. Like, let the IP die. Like,
speaking of letting the IP die, man, Dragon Ball, brother. Have you seen what they announced?
Once you say it, I know it. Once you say it, I'll remember.
Instead of announcing Dragon Ball Super Part 2, they announced a brand new series called Dragon Ball Daima.
Doesn't Pokemon have that? Pokemon has Pokemon Daima, doesn't? Oh, Dyna. Pokemon Dyna.
Daima. Daima.
Damia? Damia?
Daima. Daima.
Oh, Daima.
And the whole story is essentially where some evil villain turns all of the Dragon Ball cast into kids. So Goku's a kid, Vegeta's a kid, Bulma's a kid, Gohan's a kid. Like, literally everybody's a kid. Oh, man.
That's Pokemon GT. I like that part a little bit.
GT is fine. That's different. I actually enjoy GT at some parts. I love all the villains, but Daima, I don't know, man. Like,
wait, Toriyama's doing that, right?
I think so, yeah.
Wait, that's crazy because it wasn't the whole thing that he is upset internally that GT is so liked that he refuses to make it canon or whatever?
Yeah. Toriyama hates Dragon Ball GT so much that he's never going to introduce Super Saiyan 4 or any of the villains from GT. So that's why he created Super Saiyan Blue. So now Toriyama's taking it a step further. He's claiming the child aspect and going with Dragon Ball Daima. Toriyama's a enigma of a man. I don't know what's going on with him. But Dragon Ball Daima is kind of crazy. It has good animation from the looks of it, but I don't know, man. As a guy who really does not like animes where they show teenagers or kids, Daima just turns me off. Like, I don't have too much interest in it. I play Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle, so I'm excited for the new characters that come out for that game. But other than the video game aspect of Dragon Ball, I'm not looking forward to Daima. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, the people that I know that still watch, read Dragon Ball, it's because it's kind of the same thing with me in One Piece, right? It's like One Piece, obviously, at least One Piece is good and it aged up with us, it grew up with us. But Dragon Ball low key is like that for me too. It's a nostalgic thing, but for them it's like, they still read a chapter every week because they've been reading it for 20 plus years. So it's like it has that feel. You can't stop at that point. It's just like, why not? It's just a chapter. It's fine. It's like at that point it's like the episodes are too much for me, right? If I were in my friend's shoe, and my friend reads, he doesn't watch, I wouldn't watch it ever.
He's probably dead.
I wouldn't want to watch it. But that's the problem with Dragon Ball, is it's like something that's obviously you can capture fighting on a manga panel, but its fighting sequences are more they're more convenient to be animated and more conveniently enjoyable as an animation. But if I was going this long, I would go to reading it too, because it's like 20 minutes, even 20 minutes a week is too much. If they were on a weekly. Do I like recycling? I think recycling can be done in a healthy way, but I don't think Dragon Ball or Pokemon does it well. And the upsetting part about Pokemon, and I'm so I say this, I've come across in a few Twitch streams. I mentioned in the last episode I've been floating around random Twitch streams. In one of the Twitch streams, I came out against everybody in chat, the streamer, as a vehement Pokemon hater. I love Pokemon though. Don't get me wrong. Like that Gengar, Psyduck, but I was like,
got the boys back there.
Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh, better than Pokemon. Pokemon just had better marketing. Everything
wait. Yu-Gi-Oh number 1, Pokemon number 2, Digimon's trash.
No, Digimon is way better. Digimon is way better than both.
How?
Wait,
design-wise, Pokemon's
Digimon's
better.
Concept. Digimon introduced Isekai before Isekai was a thing.
I'm gonna hit you with the fact part. I've never watched Digimon. I don't even know what that shit's about.
Digimon literally.
I've looked at images
Isekai?
and it looks bad.
No, Digimon brought in Isekai, but then also computer, like actual computer stuff before like Google, before like the .com shit. You know what I mean? Like Digimon was crazy for its time, to the point where they did a reboot now, they didn't have to change a thing. They just added like, oh,
because they love recycling.
No. They just added terms like, okay, we can add in Python coding, we can add in JavaScripting, we can add in hacking and bully. Like they added that to a kids show. Whack. And it's, you can hate the design, the show better, all that stuff. The games cracked. The games are really good. The thing was, it was too difficult. The games are way too difficult. They made the games way too hard. And the thing is, the Pokemon games have a tier. Like you can make the games really, really hard, like what EV training or whatever, stuff like that. But like Digimon is like, that's the only level that it's enjoyable, right? But that being said, it's like Pokemon just had better marketing all around than both Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon or Digimon. Yu-Gi-Oh, their problem was like it was a non-evolving standard. I feel like card games couldn't evolve. Oh, your camera died.
No.
Camera. You know what's crazy is right on time too.
Yeah, it died at the hour mark pretty much.
Yeah, right. We scheduled out exactly this amount of time. And wait, were you streaming before? Is that why your camera died?
I was streaming before, and I also had to make a video because spoilers came out at like 1
Oh
a.m.
shit. Oh shit. Well, you know, we were just going off on all this stuff, but maybe we pocket it. But I'm not upset at you saying Yu-Gi-Oh better than at number one. That's completely plausible. I think Digimon last is blasphemous, but I also understand it. It's just like that's what comes from things that are misunderstood and not appreciated at the time. But Pokemon, in my opinion, I love Pokemon. Don't get me wrong. I came off as the craziest hater, but like Pokemon recycled so much. And the thing is that they proved that they didn't need to. They literally have so much money that they were able to, is in the last like 6 years, put out fully fleshed, like separated anime series. Now, I'm not like, they have the anime, and then they had like cinematic animes. They had like 6 of them, all completely different stories. The visuals were beautiful, the stories were beautiful. The way the Pokemon and humans interacted made so much more sense. And they were amazing. And I sat there, I'm like, they could have done this the entire time. They chose not to. And those things are like concepts that they were just like sitting on for so long, and they just released them. And I was like, man, you're telling me we could have had this instead of the 9th iteration of Ash trying to become the champion and failing, and then losing all of his Pokemon except for Pikachu? Man, I hate Pokemon.
It has potential. It had so much potential.
Yeah, it did. That's
like Dragon Ball and just like Digimon.
Exactly. No, I 100% agree with that, except for the Digimon side, because I think that Digimon,
if the artwork was better, if the artwork was better, it could capture more viewers like me.
Yes, that's what I agree. I think that Digimon used their potential correctly in a certain aspect, but it just didn't hit right. It didn't hit right. Like Digimon had more potential if they had more love.
If only.
Yeah, whereas like Pokemon had everything. Literally, you could not ask for a better IP. And then they fumbled. They did not, in my opinion, do good on any of their IPs. Even the games. I'll say it. That's a hot take. Pokemon Dungeon's better than all the games.
I haven't played a Pokemon game in like years.
Yeah.
I'm excited because the Switch is having a second part being released in a year or two.
Oh, so, of the new game thing?
Yeah, Switch 2, whatever they're going to call it. But
gross.
Whenever that comes out, you can bet that a new Pokemon game is going to be on the horizon, and I'm super excited for that.
Wait, did you play like the motorcycle one?
Nope.
Wait,
I have
so
not played a Pokemon game since I was a kid, but I really enjoy them though. I think they're cool concepts. I just hate that they recycle the same idea over and over. But
that's why I played the recent one, because it felt crazy. It felt new. I liked it. I just didn't have time. I fell off.
It looked good,
hard.
but I feel like it can be polished, and that's why I'm waiting for the next console or the next handheld, whatever it is.
Maybe we duo stream that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, capture Pokemon at the same time. I could get like Pidgeotto, and we can get like Mewtwo and like gangbang, like spit roast them or something.
Hey, anything's possible in an open world. Oh, you know what'd be sick? You know what'd be sick?
I love how that's your response. Just not no, not maybe. Just anything's possible.
I mean, there's Pokemon breeding. They have that in the game. I don't know what their intentions were to scale that up, but like all the Pokemon, they make an egg. You gotta ask yourself how. And it's like,
where did the egg come from?
Yeah, we're out here milking random breeds together. It's crazy. They literally had to like clamp that down because in reality, the developers created like an actual existential crisis with Pokemon, because in order to like the players, I didn't know how crazy it was when because I also haven't played, but when I was playing the recent one, people were like coaching me into like the breeding stuff. And they were basically saying like, oh yeah, you can force breed. I'm like, yo, that's crazy that you just said that. Like, that's just a crazy phrase to be common termed in a game. Force breeding. It's like you get how like weird. And then they were like, the alternative is you have them, or like you hunt down and make them like create like the perfect creature, and you go through and you toss out all the imperfect ones, and you like look at the stats and you're like, this one's trash, and you just set it free. I'm like, yo, in reality that just causes like an entire problem. You just created like 1,000 chances or whatever for one, or you force breed chances, and that's the concept you're just trying to. I was like, it's there. It's
right there, brother.
What I was gonna say was I just watched a streamer, and then this will be the last thing, tapping out, but a streamer, there was those open world games where like Chat GPT ran the NPCs, and so like the people were like exposing them like, you're not real, this isn't a real world, and then like the NPCs were like, no, this is real. What do you mean? And then like they were going through like an existential crisis, and then what's it called? The person's like, oh yeah, well that there's a invisible barrier at the end of the map, and like no it's not, and it's like that's what Chat GPT's NPC is. They'd be sick if like Pokemon put AI into their script, and like the Pokemon, I don't know, did shit. You know what I mean? Like the Pokemon band together and just like tore down a town.
Like out of nowhere, you read like a line that just pops up on your screen. It says, "Hey, Mewtwo just banged everybody in town and committed mass genocide on Hoto."
And this is a great way to close this off. What you just described is Digimon. That is the original concept of Digimon.
I will never watch Digimon.
They were AI monsters.
I will hate it until the day I die.
That learned how to overcome the thing through machine learning. That is literally AI. It was the craziest thing. It was so good, so smart at the time.
And you know what's better than Digimon? Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh was so cool. Oh
man. Like,
but you know what's cooler than Yu-Gi-Oh?
Ending this video.
Beyblade.
Oh, no. Well, thank you guys for showing up. Hopefully you guys stick around next week. Hopefully me and Par also record a 50-50 episode next week. You never know. It's a coin toss, but I have faith in the cards.
The heart of the cards.
Heart of the cards.
Gotta let it rip.
Jesus. With that being said, hey, catch you guys next time. Peace out.
Gotta catch them all.